Hey, this is Dave coming at you from Michigan. Once again, I'm going to pretend that I didn't make the other video like 2 seconds ago. Yeah, finally I'm doing another video here. Yeah, let's do the video on the Allura siding, which is basically like a fiber cement board. It's pretty much the same material as a hardy backer board for doing tiling, interior tile work and stuff. But let me show you what we've gotten done so far, and I'll do a little review on this product. I'm pretty impressed with it. It cuts really good. Oh, before I forget, don't buy the blades that they recommend you buy for these. They're junk. I was watching some video and they're like, oh yeah, you only get like 15 to 20 cuts out of it. Let me show you the blade that I bought for it. Little secret of the trades. I'm hoping I can find the actual package of. I bought, well, I guess on the miter saw you can actually see. Well, the miter saw's not up here. Of course, I'm, really prepared for this one. Oh, here we go. Buy these blades. This is the one you want. It doesn't have to be this brand. This is the brand that Home Depot happened to carry. It's right here. It's the one that has the fins with the diamond. Don't get the ones that basically say are for the high, because they just, and the only reason why I know this is because I bought those a couple times to cut the hardy backer board back in the day when I was doing a couple bathrooms and kitchens, and they're just crap. What we ended up using back then, because those were such a junk, we would use literally just normal rip cut saw blades for wood, and we'd wear them out. You'd get probably about 15, 20 cuts out of them. But we would just use our old use wood saw blades. But in this case, here's one that I have that's already been open. I used this on a different project, but this is all synthetic diamonds right here on the edge. We've been using the same blade, and we have probably cut over 200 cuts by now with the one blade. And I believe I bought this for about $19.95 or something like that, $17.95. It's just, this is the one you want. You want the diamond segmented blade, 7-inch for normal circular saws. It says it cuts masonry, but it also cuts hardy backer board, which is basically fiber masonry board. All right, so yeah, buy that. You will not regret it, and it cuts through this all day long. Rip cuts, everything. It just does everything. So here we go. I ordered about 20% scrap, and I think we're only at about 5% scrap. We've actually been doing good with it. Here we are. We've been just doing it all off ladders. Actually, my son, he actually got this side done all by himself with the help of his cousin Luke. And Luke's gonna be working again next week, which I'm looking forward to. It's always fun to have Luke on the job. But it's also fun to have Lewis on the job. If Lewis sees this, he'll be mad if I don't say Lewis, but they're both. Now you get them together on the job, then there's trouble because they're just goofing around all the time. I'm just kidding. But yeah, we're gonna do this, and I think we're gonna go up about halfway up on this wall with the ladders. And then once we get high enough, it almost makes sense, and it's faster and safer if you just rent the lift again. But we got this done, and we've gotten all this done in about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. So we've got this wall completely all the way up to the top, and it looks really good. Everyone's complimenting us on how awesome the color is that we chose, but this color is just the primer that comes on the boards. So I've been telling people, we promise that we'll pick a color. My wife and I, we've been thinking about like a grayish earth tone color anyway, so we're not gonna leave the primer, but we'll probably pick something that's in between like a grayish bluish color. But we have some time before we decide all that. But oh, one thing on this stuff, anytime you end up with a horizontal piece of trim, and even the ones that go up on the diagonal, like up there, you want to bend a piece of aluminum that's like a Z channel. We just overlapped it a half. It seems like it's going to mess up the look of it, but this trim here is going to be painted white, and you need that so you don't have any. Even if you didn't put that and you just quad caulked it, you're still going to eventually, if that splits at all, in which it will over time, you'll get cracks in the caulk. You'll get water behind there, and you don't want water behind your trim there. That'd be awful. So you put a little Z channel there, and we even extended it like an inch past, and then we just bent it over, and then that'll all be caulked. So once all that gets caulked, that's good. But you probably still even want to caulk the top of that with a light bead. That's just to physically make it to where water can't go through. So always put your Z channel on a horizontal piece of trim like that when the side is going to come on it. And a good example will be once we start going up that rake, we want to put one all the way down there and kind of bend it over. We might even put like a little piece of flashing that overlaps over onto a piece of siding, because you know that's going to have a lot of water traveling down there, and you want to make sure that it ends up and spits out on top of your siding. But yeah, we got this wall done. We got this wall. And new construction's easy in the fact that the way that you can figure this out is just measure off your soffit. What we did here is we just measured a line down. I think we chose 18 inches, so it's still above the window, so we can do a long 18 inches down on that side, 18 inches down on that side. Chalk the line. Make sure that we came up a 1/4 inch off of the flashing that's going to separate the siding to the cultured stone. And then we kind of figured out where the full piece of siding starts. Now, here's something I can point out that we just lucked out. You can see that on the top going up to the trim. I think we ended up having to rip cut off like an inch off of that. The problem is, what if this house, they probably planned this with a stamp, but we randomly picked where we're going to land on the window. So I guess that gets rid of the whole standard of the stud lengths, because we randomly picked. We lucked out from being inexperienced. If you do what I do, we just started blindly with a full piece at the bottom, which, okay, that's fine. Well, the problem with that is we lucked out, because what if you ended up with like a 1 inch rip cut at the top, or like a 2 inch rip cut? That'd be ridiculous. So to avoid a 1 inch rip cut up there, you would want to measure from here, because it's a 7 inch reveal. Find out ahead of time where your 7 inch lands. If it lands in a weird spot, like 1.5 inches or 2 inches from the top of the trim, you might want to rip that difference off of your bottom piece to make the bottom a less reveal, like a 6 inch reveal, 5.5 inch reveal. That way you end up with, or balance it. You could balance it where you end up with 5.5 inch reveal here, or 5.5 inch reveal up there, or something like that, because we just lucked out on that, to be honest with you. We just ended up cutting off 1 inch where we had more of a beefy piece up there. And when we were going up there, I was even, oh boy, just rolling my eyes. Like, I realized it when we got up about 3 pieces high. I didn't say anything to anybody. I'm like, I'm going to ignore it, and I just lucked out on that. But anyways, yeah, this porch right here was a lot to get done, but man, it turned out good. I'm so glad that we took the time and did all this and did the trim work, and really just pops out, you know. And then right here, here's a little situation where you could see that we've got the 7 inch reveal here, but more of a 4.5 reveal here. And that's because you don't obviously want to start with a full piece here, because then these won't line up. And that would not be good. That would look horrible. Another thing, I could go over tons of details on this stuff and how you cut it and what, you know, all this stuff. If you're going to use this, because this is going to be more like an Allura cement board siding review. Allura itself has a great YouTube video where there's a guy that's really informative, explains everything that you have to do here, with how much of a gap you leave around the windows, which actually is like 1/8 of an inch, but it's like a 10 to 15 minute video. They tell you everything, the codes, what they recommend. It's right from the manufacturer. So you'll find, just type in, you know, Allura installation, you know, it's gonna pop up. It's an official Allura instructional video. It's really easy to find. I would highly recommend this product to people. So far, it's really easy to work with, and it's a little on the heavy side, and it's brittle. They come in 12-foot lengths. If people said they didn't break them, they're lying to you. I broke a few of them, but that's more at the beginning. It's like a learning curve, and then I haven't broken any in about a week and a half. I broke like 2 the first day I was using them, but yeah, it's a good product to use. Definitely would recommend it. Now they have like the Hardy backer too. That's like a company Hardy. You know, this is Allura. It's all the same stuff. It's pretty much. This comes with, a lot of people like the smooth stuff. I just figured out, since I was out in the woods, I'll just go with this wood grain look. It really does look like real wood. They did a good job on it. Oh, and another thing too, I actually bought a 10-inch blade of the diamond blade, because I did not want to cut all these small pieces with the hand circular saw. It wouldn't have been as a straight and accurate cut. And I'm telling you right now, this stuff, the way that we did this right here is we had a pilot bit with, and it was funny, a metal bit that's an 1/8 inch pilot bitted all of these without going dull. It finally got dull because it is like more of a fiber. It's not 100% cement. And all I did is I just took some of the silicone caulk that, it's water-based, but it's like a silicone water-based, but I just dabbed it in there a little bit and just drilled a pilot bit, and then I just took my hammer and hammered it in, and then I used a 3/8 metal bit upside down with the blunt end and used that as a punch to just gently hammer it in with those little, with the aluminum coil nails that we use for the fascia, and that holds them in. And then once that glue, I can feel them, they're non-movable. Oh, hey, Mr. Spider, how you doing? What's up? You can only live there so long. We're gonna be caulking and painting pretty soon. Look at this guy. He's like, what are you doing messing with me? Daddy long legs. What's up? Hey. Yeah, you can see that pretty much 1/8 inch. Sometimes you're gonna have them tighter, sometimes you're gonna have them, you know how it is. It's, you're gonna kind of look at something like, should we use it, should we not? We have a couple in there that ended up being more like 3/16, but it's like, you know what, you're gonna be caulking and painting it all. If it looks good now, it's gonna look great once you caulk it. This one was my smallest one right here. This was like 5/8 piece, and we were still able to drill a pilot hole in it. We just used a block of wood on the ground, drill a pilot hole about 1 inch down, because this is an 1 1/4 overlap. That's another thing too. The siding is 8 1/4 inches, and it's a 7-inch reveal. So you have 1 1/4 that gets covered, and the perfect nailing position is about 1 inch from the top. So, but anyways, I'm gonna get back to work. Justin's doing the work by himself. Oh yeah. Well, anyways, we got this done real quick. Hold on. And we've got, just so you know, oh, there's some turkeys, wild turkeys. I don't know if you can see them in the video. I always have turkeys. They are not scared of us at all. They could care less what we're doing. They are not scared in the slightest. Wild turkeys. Sometimes you get like about 24 of them coming through in a group. Got this wall done. It is so hot out right now. Let's see, this wall done. And then now you can see why we dropped that down. It would have been ridiculous if the cultured stone just would have going, you know, horizontally. We dropped it down. I think we dropped it down about 3 feet, 3.5 feet. It's going to look good with the drop, because it just makes it more, more character, more complexity. And what our plan is a lot of the stuff we were able to get all the way up to the top without the lift. We're going to run this one just up above the window. Then it gets to the point, once you have the lift, it's up there. You might, if we're going to get the lift anyways, we're not going to do all these angled cuts all the way up there off the ladders. We could. It's not like we're scared of the heights. It's just faster, much faster. But yeah, this is where we got today. Oh yeah, and then these things right here, these are like 60 bucks off Amazon. They're called geckos. These are what you want. They lock in. Let's see. They have a little blade on the back. This nut sets to whatever reveal you want. We found that you just slide them in on a little bit of an angle, slide them up, pull this lever up, and it locks it in. And then your next piece is exactly spaced to your 7-inch reveal. All right, let's see what Justin is doing down here. Oh, and in the summertime, you're supposed to wear a mask when you're cutting this stuff, but I'm telling you right now, you guys know darn well, just like me, you're not going to be wearing a mask when you're outside in the hot sun. So what works good is a nice industrial fan right where you're cutting. As you're cutting, that fan pulls it right away. You're not breathing in any dust. It'll just pull it right away. So that's what we got going on. We've just been carrying all our tools in this wheelbarrow. It's been working great. That's where we're at. We're almost getting around there. And then the next wall is going to be right here. All right, well, that's where we got. I'll keep you posted. This is Dave signing off.